Alright, in this video I want to get into the idol of the church. Now, it started to come very apparent to me that a lot of Christian denominations have made an idol of the church that they belong to and basically are idol worshipping. And I could see this obviously with Catholics. Like I mentioned in a past video, I was talking to a Catholic and he was saying that the Bible is not the Word of God, it is the written Word of God, and that I worship the Bible and he worships God. And I was like, so the Catholic Church is God? Because what is it you're doing different? You're obeying the church instead of the Bible. So are you saying that the church is God? And he never really answered the question. He just jumped to different things. But that's basically what he's saying without saying it. He just can't say it out loud because then he knows that what it is. It's blatant idol worship and putting the church above God. And he knows that's wrong, but at the same time, he doesn't want to face it and change. But in this same group, I was talking to Seventh-day Adventists, and I used to be a Seventh-day Adventist, and I know that they believe they are the remnant Laodicean church from Revelation chapter 3, and that you got to be part of that remnant to be protected and saved by God through what's going to be coming onto the world. And I was thinking, wow, there's other denominations that think the same thing, that you have to be part of their denomination because they're the true remnant church. And if you're not, then you're lost. And it's basically church worship. They made an idol of the church organization and basically put it up to be equal and even above God. And that's what it's, obviously is, right? Because the Catholics, they believe salvation comes through Catholicism and being part of that church. Well, the same thing with the Seventh-day Adventists. And I know you might know of other denominations that you've either been part of or went to their church, or you know people who are part of the denomination and they believe the same thing. And it's making an idol. Because when you're a believer, you're part of the church. Whether you're non-denominational, you have no church, or you go to any one of the denominations, you are part of the church by faith, not because of the organized religion or denomination that you're part of. That has nothing to do with it. Nothing at all. That's just a man-made organization used to bring people together supposedly to worship in that. But there's a lot more to it that I'm not going to get into, but I want to just focus on how people have made an idol of the church or the church that they're part of, and not actually the true church. And you shouldn't make an idol of the true church anyway, because it's basically making an idol out of yourself, right? So anyway, what I want to talk about is destroying your idols. And this is how you can tell something is an idol in your life, right? Now, if you cannot bear to lose it, like you can't go on living without it, or you think it's some kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? It's like a degradation, just an unholy disrespect to do something to it. I can't think of the word like off the top of my head here. For some reason, it won't come up to my tongue here. But anyway, you think it's some kind of sacrilege to do it, then it's an idol. Something I could bring up is, let's say for like a Catholic, I would say like an image they have, like a statue of Mary, right? And to a Protestant, I would say like a cross. And if I said, okay, destroy that depiction of Mary, destroy that cross, and they might be like, no, right? And it was like, why? Well, because of the sacred image, and it represents something. And I was like, yeah, it represents something, but it's not that. Like the statue of Mary isn't Mary. That cross isn't God. So destroying it is nothing. And if you can't destroy it, you're making an idol out of it. Especially if it's like, okay, well, if you don't destroy it, then, you're going to lose your life. Or, something else is going to happen to you, some kind of consequences, but you refuse to do it because of your pride and you think there's something to it. Like you can't do it because you'll displease God, or, it's a sin of some kind, you'll lose your salvation. It's an idol because all it is made out of clay, wood, metal, plastic, ceramic. There's different things these things are made out of. It's nothing. It's just an image. It's a piece of art. It just only has the meaning you are putting into it. And if you can't destroy it, it's an idol. So think of it with your church. If your church organization stopped existing, like let's say, I'm just going to name the Catholics, and I'm going to name a Protestant, like let's think of like Methodists. Okay, that's what we're going to go with, just for this sake. The Catholic Church all of a sudden destroyed. Its organization's gone. There's no more priests. There's no more leadership. No more Catholic church buildings. The same thing for the Methodists. There's no more organization, no more churches. The name is gone. It's stricken. It's never going to be used again. So there's no more Catholics. There's no more Methodists. How does that change your relationship with God? Does it affect your relationship with God in any way? Does it change that at all? If it does, you have an idol out of the church. It's okay to be devastated that your church is gone, but if you can't move on and just gather with the people, because nobody's hurt, nobody's lost, you can't just gather with the people, in some park and sing and preach the word, then you have a problem. You've made an idol out of the church, sometimes just out of the building that you go meet at. Sometimes it's the organization, sometimes it's out of the pastors or the priests, right? You make idols out of them. And if they're gone, all of a sudden your relationship with God is non-existent or weak. Well, that's because you got an idol and you're relying on an idol. So I just wanted to make this quick video talking about how a lot of denominations make an idol out of the church. And they worship their church instead of God. And we make idols out of all kinds of different things. Sometimes it can be an object. Sometimes it's a relationship, a person. But you just got to ask yourself, if God took this away from me right now, how would it affect my relationship with God? Would it destroy it? Would it weaken it? What would happen? Because if it has an effect on that, you got an idol. So anyway, thanks for watching and take care.